This tutorial demonstrates how dynamic text works. A static text is a plain text string, like this "Hello World". When edited with the hotkey ET, a single string is presented. This string is stored in the text property of the object, as shown by the property editor. Dynamic text patterns are enclosed in % marks, and they typically address an attribute of a parent object. However, simply adding a % pattern doesn't automatically do any substitution, so that static text with % signs in it won't break. Substitution happens only if the dyn_text property of the text object is set to true. This specific ../a.title pattern will use the sheet's title attribute. The sheet is a group object. That is because the text object is hosted by the sheet's group, as shown in the tree dialog. The ../ prefix in the pattern addresses the text's parent object, which is the sheet. The a.title part means the title attribute. Invoking the property editor on the sheet, the value of the title attribute is easy to change. This automatically updates all dyn_text objects referring to this attribute. The ET hotkey over a dyn_text object invokes the dynamic text editor, which offers 3 ways to edit the content. The bottom entry is the same as it was in the simple text editor. It directly edits the text property of the object. In other words, it edits the template. The middle entry is the first pattern extracted. Most dyn_text objects will have only one pattern, and this is an easy way to change what the pattern refers to. When the pattern refers to an existing attribute, the top entry is a shorthand for editing the addressed attribute. In this case, it would modify the value of the sheet's title attribute. Alternatively, the button invokes the attribute editor where a more complex edit and a better overview are available. The ref_des of a symbol is really a dynamic text that simply prints the name attribute of the symbol. In this case, the parent of the text object is the symbol, which is a group. To change the ref_des, the value of the name attribute of the symbol needs to be changed. This mechanism is generic, and the name attribute is not a special case. The user is free to invent new attributes and get them printed by dyn_text objects. For example, we can hijack the original value printout of the resistor symbol to print our brand new tolerance attribute. There is a quick way to create a dyn_text printout of a group attribute. Open the Attribute Editor dialog, select the attribute, and click the Floater button. This will place a dyn_text object with the pattern constructed to print the value of the selected attribute. Terminal labels are printed using dyn_text too. In this case, we use a lowercase a for the attribute addressing, which means the attribute is coming from the abstract model, not from the concrete model. This gives plugins a chance to make transformation on the value of the attribute. Often, the terminal's final identifier is determined by a port mapping or device mapping or slotting. The attribute name to use is a.display/name.